Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Brentford versus Everton at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Tough game this, James, obviously.
Yeah.
Brentford are a good side, we know that. Drew 0-0 earlier at Goodison Park in the season. And this one comes at a time when they're not in great form, actually, at home.
Yeah.
They're really good away. At home, they've not been in great form. Everton still smarting from having a 94th minute penalty taken off them with a chance to beat Manchester United at the weekend. But, I mean, how do you see this one going to this one? Think if Everton could get a point to be a good result, or are you thinking go there and get all three?
Well, I think if you're a Brentford fan at the minute, you look at sort of your past home fixtures, and as we just said, they haven't really done well recently. I think in the past 5, they've lost 4, drew 1. And so, looking at the teams they faced in that time, I think they'll probably look at Everton as their chance to sort of get a win out of, because they faced the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Forest, and everything. But for Everton, I think we go into this really with no sort of pressure on us at this point in time, because since Moyes came in, we're so far away from the relegation zone now. I know we're not mathematically safe, but I think we're too far gone now that we can get dragged into it. I think the teams there are not great, so we go into this with no pressure. I know we have sort of not a lot of players available, which could be limiting to the squad, and sort of what went wrong against Man United and in a way Liverpool is that we get to that sort of 70th minute mark and there's not really many people who can come in and sort of continue the high pressing type of style play that we play. But ultimately I still think, Brentford, they are they're dangerous on the attack because, they've got Mbuemo, they've got Wissa, even Damsgaard, I think he's got like 10 assists. And they're going to definitely cause issues, but defensively, I think that's probably our strongest point at the minute, and somewhere we have sort of got a bit of depth. And for me, although I think it will be a tough game, I see Everton getting something out of it at least, whether it's a draw or a win. But it will be a challenging day. But if I had to put me neck on the line, I'd say we get like a 2-1 win, in all honesty.
There you go. I mean, going into it, there's 6 points between the two sides. If Everton could win the game, then you drag Brentford closer to us, and who knows where you go from there. And obviously, looking at it, if David Moyes was to win on Wednesday, then he'd have got exactly the same amount of points Sean Dyche did, but it only took him 8 games to do so rather than 19. The turnaround since Moyes has come in has been incredible, hasn't it? And I've seen something. It was on YouTube actually, but it was taken from Sky's programme, I think, at the weekend, talking about the differences between Moyes and Dyche, and you listen to some of those pundits and they're clueless,
absolutely,
there's not really doing anything different. There's a massive difference. There's literally that laugh then from the other room was what I was like when I heard the first line, they're not doing anything differently. I think it was
the commentator said
Michael Dawson, I think, said something like, "Oh no, they haven't changed it. They're just taking chances." It's nonsense. There's a massive difference. Everton are flying forward. Everton are committing way more men forward. Everton are on the front foot.
Ultimately, I think it's the biggest thing, because me and you spoke about it on live shows that we went through Beto's goals for Udinese with him and Delafeu and stuff, and all of his goals came from playing it in behind, and he'd run to it, and because he's big and he can outmuscle them and he's got a bit of pace about him, he'd always do so well against defenders. And when he came to Everton, we were playing him as if he was Calvert-Lewin number 2, where we did it up to him and he'd have to try and chest it down or whatever, and he was never going to be good at it because it was never the strength. But Moyes came in, instantly seen that. I mean, we even seen it when Baines and Coleman took over, and that was that Harrison Armstrong ball that went to him.
Yeah, played
even seen it there. That it must have, everyone in Everton's training ground must have been like, why are we playing better like this if it got changed that quick? And then from there, he's been amazing, really, and probably been our best player recently, and a fair call for Player of the Month in the Premier League.
Well, he's got 4 goals in his last 4 Premier League games. Well, he scored. He's got 5 and 4. He scored in his last 4. If he scores on Wednesday, he becomes only the 4th player in Premier League history for Everton to score in 5 games on the run.
Vardy's record.
And that's been the turnaround of the lad. And you give him the ball ahead of him, he'll score, and he'll be a real threat to Brentford on Wednesday night. We know that. And Everton, I think that's what Brentford will. The difference when they came to Goodison in November And he got Norsgaard sent off on just before half time, didn't he? And
it got rescinded though.
It did get rescinded. It's a weird one, that, because at the time I thought he's just gone for the ball.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you're going to red card anyone going for a ball at the far post, loads will be happening. When it's slowed down, it is a bad one. He has his studs high. Yeah. But listen, they rescinded it, and there you go. But what I was going to say was the difference that Thomas Frank will see from this Everton team, the one that his team coped easily with in the second half against when they only had 10 men at Goodison, is not this same team. You know, that day Brentford looked more likely to win it. But Lewis Potter was excellent, and they were on the front foot with 10 men, and we were like sitting on the edge of our box. Whereas I think that day under Moyes, Everton would have won the game because we'd have flew with them, and that might be the difference that they find this time, is that Everton are more attacking under David Moyes, and he's got some decisions to make. Obviously, the core, I imagine, will start. Scored at the weekend before running out of steam. Got an assist. And he did score at Brentford last season, even though it's a long time ago now. It was the September 2023, which is the last time he played at the G-Tech, which is mad, and we won 3-1, and he scored that day. And therefore I imagine he'll be up alongside Beto, but Everton will be open and David Moyes will be open. That people like Nathan Patterson will be available on the bench just to give a little bit of depth, because you're right, against United and Liverpool and even Palace, although we did sort of come back stronger,
a big one.
The 70-minute markers where we sort, because we are playing on the front foot and a high press, we seem to notice it after around 70 minutes. There's a dip, isn't there? And Thomas Frank's such a good manager. I'm sure he's highlighted that as well to their players. But going into this one, we're in really good form. 6 unbeaten, 1-4, drew 2. And like I say, a victory for Everton, it'd be a great result because these are the good side, but a victory for Everton would put them just within 3 points of Brentford. And that's an incredible turnaround because they were miles ahead of us, weren't they?
I think, going back to your Decore point, you know, under Dyche, it was sort of, we played Decore because of his energy in the midfield and his legs. And I think against Man United, there was lots of questions about whether it be Decore or Alcaraz. And I think that first half sort of shown why David Moyes went for Decore, with just how much he was pressing, how much of an issue he was causing, and then ultimately he scored and got a goal and an assist. And I know Alcaraz did as well, but
he should have gone down as well in the box. Soon, just before half time, he was clipped. He should have gone down for a penalty.
But I think it's then sort of that, as you said, that we're pressing loads now, that we're trying to make teams uncomfortable. And I think a player like Decore is so key to that. And I think he's shown that against Man United. And so, whether I know in the second half, Decore fell off massively, but as you said, it's sort of that 70th minute mark, we just sort of lose our heads a bit. And so, whether him and Alcaraz, do you think there's a possibility that they could both play in sort of the same team? Or do you think...
No. He'd have to play Alcaraz wide, and I don't see that happening. I think he's got Harrison and he's got Lindstrom at the moment because McNeil's not available, and I just don't see Alcaraz and Njai's not available unless... I know the manager said he was making real progress, but I'd be amazed. Well, he won't be. He's not going to be available for this one, of course. No. But hopefully he'll be back soon. But without them, there's no real options wide. Ashley Young's not going to come in. I don't think. Lindstrom was sick on Saturday, but I imagine for this one he'll be available. And Alcaraz will take his place on the bench, and probably the same team really that started against United, and hopefully, I think we'll have to get 4-0 up against Brentford with, you know, to think that we might be able to hang on a little bit, because but these do score goals and they do fly forward. They've got some really good players, and I really like Thomas Frank. They're a cracking little club, you know, good fans, play good football, open attacking football, and that's why Everton have got a chance. As much as there's a real threat that they'll hurt you at one end, you get chances at the other.
You sacrifice so many bodies.
Exactly. So
you can get on the counter.
You know, can Everton do? We scored a goal on a counter attack at the weekend, didn't we? The second goal, and Palace, of course, we scored on a counter attack. But
yeah, it's definitely interesting, isn't it? Because right now you sort of look at the Everton team, and I think, especially in the Man United game, once Lindstrom was taken off and Ashley Young replaced them, you noticed that drop off a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm sort of don't know, questioning whether, you know, you could try someone else out there, just give them a go like an Alcaraz, because he did play on the left, didn't he, for Flamengo, and I think he had stints there for Southampton too.
Yeah.
But it's just a lack of options, really.
But if you put it, the problem you've got though, I know what you're saying, and he's a nice footballer, Alcaraz, and we saw the real positive side of him at Palace and against Bournemouth and stuff. I think if you shove him out wide though at the moment, Harrison, I thought Jack Harrison did okay against United at the weekend. He worked his socks off and obviously had the shots which led to the second goal. I think if you take him out the side, or you take Lindstrom out the side on the other side, we saw when he went off at the weekend, that just right now they're in a good mode. That team is like you've got the work rate of both of them wide. Both got a little bit of pace about them, and I think if Moyes starts taking him out to put Alcaraz somewhere where he hasn't been playing regularly, it might expose us a little bit, particularly against a team like Brentford who fly forward, and at the G-Tech as well. I think it's more likely to happen maybe at Goodison, where he might try something a little bit different. But just for this one, I wouldn't be messing with those wide areas. You know, Brentford are strong out wide as well. I wouldn't really be messing personally with them areas, because I think you're getting good work rate from the two lads who are out there at the moment. Yes, it's a pity we don't have Njai to run at them and cause them issues. But again, very much like when we went to Crystal Palace, the same sort of thing. You've got to dig in a little bit. You've got to make sure that you get opportunities. And that's what we did at Palace. We didn't start particularly well at Crystal Palace. In fact, we looked knackered because of the derby.
Scored early on, shouldn't they?
And Palace could have scored because we weren't on it. So we'll have to be really careful, because in Bumo and Wissa, these have got two lads who know where the net is. So
even like the backup chasers have been getting hat-tricks this season.
Well, you've got Sharder, haven't you, who I really like, who's good. Damsgaard's good. Lewis Potter, we've already mentioned. Thiago, hasn't really done anything, but I think he will. He's got some of he's got some of the basic mechanics that you need to do well in the Premier League, and it might need to settle in a little bit. So, but again, like I say, they're an open team, and therefore that's why it gives Everton a good opportunity to maybe go and nick this one.
Well, you look at sort of Moyes' like recent tenure at the club, and like a Brighton is sort of what I feel like should sort of play like, you know, a team where they'll attack loads and you might get a chance or two, but as long as everyone remains compact and you're sort of in their positions, we'll do well against them. And I think they're the sort of games where we can learn from it and bring it into this game, and hopefully we can do well against them.
If we had, don't get me wrong, if we had more of our players available, if we had McNeil, Njai, Brozier, Chimiti, these kind of players available and ready to go on the bench as well, then you'd be like, we can have a real go at these. You know, it's great we're getting Irabunum back and he'll be on the bench as well, and these kind of players are coming back now, and you're going, excellent, can we get Patterson, we get Brozier, can we get Chimiti, Calvert-Lewin, McNeil and Jai, you know, all of them back, and they've all been in our first team at some time or the other, and you had them available off the bench as well. Seamus Coleman is an option. Then the manager has got real decisions to make, but right now he hasn't.
Just one decision, it's the core Alcaraz.
Exactly, really. That's it really, isn't it? So, but like I said, Brentford do give you an opportunity, and let's have a real go at it. Let's have a look at Brentford's team from the last game. They won 4-0, of course, at Leicester. Really good performance from them. And they go with, you know, the very much, you know, what you're getting through, you know, Wissa through the middle, Damsgaard in that sort of 10 role. You've got Mbumo one side, Sharder with the pace the other, you know, Janelt there as well in midfield. So, you know, Lewis Potter, who's a winger but playing left back, because that's sort of use
doing Everton, don't they? Where they
like they go to 3. Is it Asia? Is it? He is a right back but will drop in and make it a 3 centre back. So we know where their strength is. And again, I've said it before, you know, I like Brentford as a club, really like Thomas Frank, think he's great, and they play really good football, and I like that. I like the fact that he's almost like, you know, he's win or bust, isn't he? Yeah, that's what he likes to play. I think
puts it all in.
I've got a lot of time for that. You know, we'll go for it. We'll try and win. We have picked out. Let's have a look at Everton's side before we go to Brentford's start. There's the Everton side that started against Manchester United. Personally, unless someone is injured, then I think that will be the starting lineup.
If you had to make the decision on Decore or Alcaraz, would you stick with Decore?
It'd be Decore.
Yeah, because that
Alcaraz gives us more control of the ball because he's just better in possession than Decore. He's got a good passing range, can dribble, can shoot, and he's a nice player. But I said last week when a lot of people were going, Alcaraz must start against United, I could understand why the manager will bring Decore back. And I think it'll be the same here. Again, just right now, getting in this mode. Alcaraz still new into it, still just getting used to it. Been here a couple of weeks. Decore, his height.
Sort of his work rate and everything.
Goal, he got a goal the first time he scored for a while, I think, on Saturday. September. Oh no, he scored against his Leicester one, was the first one of the season, wasn't it? And he scored now. But I think Moyes likes the pressing as well. Also set plays for and against. He's big. But I think what I would be looking for if I was David Moyes is having Alcaraz ready for that sort of 65-minute mark when Decore tanks because his energy is gone. That's when I'd be putting Alcaraz on. I think at the weekend, not sure he got his subs right at the weekend in terms of timings. Okay, Ashley Young had to come on. Lindstrom was sick, but I think he left it a little bit late. We needed a bit of energy before they scored, and we waited a little bit. But that's the way it is, isn't it? That you take your chances. He's got his subs right at times. At the weekend, maybe that didn't play out quite right, but this one, again, this will be key. Irabunum and Alcaraz aren't two bad options to bring off the bench at all. So I think he'll go with the same 11.
Yeah, I agree. I think as much as, Alcaraz is good, I think what Decore offers and what you've seen in that first half against United, in a team that's going to be attacking a lot and we may have to defend quite a bit more. And we need that sort of energy. I think you've got to go with Decore, really, haven't you?
Yeah, and listen, like I said, Alcaraz, it's new.
Just while he's laying sort of his trade at Everton,
in 4 more weeks, he might be or 6 weeks, he might be the one you go and he can't be dropped. Yeah. Hopefully that's where you get to, but right now I think he'll go with Decore. The person we've picked out for Brentford is Brien Mbeumo, because he's quite frankly fantastic. 26 games he's played this season, 15 goals from an XG of 8.49, massively overperforming his XG there. He's got 4 assists as well, and he averages 2.2 shots per game. You can see his heat map there. He is someone who, without being disrespectful to Brentford, some of the bigger clubs, if you like, are looking at. I mean, it's been like with Liverpool and Arsenal, hasn't he? Yeah. And Manchester United, actually.
Newcastle put like a £60 million bid to something.
Or Forest, wasn't it?
Oh, Forest, yeah.
So, he's caught the sort of the eye of people. He's only 25, I think. When you look at him, he looks like he's about 35, but really good player, dangerous with that left foot, got a goal in him, creates chances as well. So, he's someone who Everton are going to have to really nullify. Michalenko's going to have to be on it. Yeah. And he's normally quite good goal man v man, and that's his game.
Saving grace, isn't it? That in them 1v1 situations against like the big sort of wingers like a Salah or a Saka or whatever, he normally does fairly well matching up to them.
Well, the derby, I mean, Salah, it's going to sound utterly ridiculous because he ended up with a goal and an assist. But in general, in all the bits between and after it, he hardly had a kick, did he? Yeah. But that's the danger of Mo Salah, of course. But Michalenko in general did quite well against them, and he normally does do okay 1v1, and he'll have to be right on his mettle against Mbeumo because he's a threat. So we'll see. We can win it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
2-1.
Listen, it's tough, but it's a game because of the way Brentford play. Everton can win it, but just go and do what you've been doing. Give everything. Have a go at them, and if we're good enough on the night, we'll get what we do. Well, we'll get the points, or we'll get a point. But as long as it's a good performance and we keep doing what we're doing, then I think every Evertonian is happy right now. We've been in really good form.
You can't question like the work rate and stuff of the players.
No, they all
done really well.
And hopefully by the time the next game rolls around, which is Wolves away, we'll have a couple more players available as well.
A few more options.
Just to give the squad a boost, because it massively needs it. There you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. What are you feeling about this game? It is a tough game. These are a good side, but let's have a go with it. Can we build on it? And would you change anything? Would you go Alcaraz for Decore? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you later.